Now it is time to move on to the part of the presentation that maybe you were looking forward to, maybe you were cringing about. This is the part where I try to help you with the actual video production, and part of it involves a little bit of marketing know-how. And so that's what we're going to talk about. Before you get started producing any video, there is one big question that you need to answer for yourself. And that goes for whether it's a recruiting video, whether it's an HR video, whether it's a marketing video. It doesn't matter what type of video. The question is the same. The one question is the same. And this is something that I even have to reiterate to our marketing audiences as well. And this is like Marketing 101. And that is, who's your audience? You have to be able to answer that question. Now, for you guys, it might be as simple as saying recruits. Recruits, they are our audience. That's who this video is for. But can you refine it? Is it for specific job recruits? Is it just general job recruits? I mean, I really want you to focus in on who is going to watch this video. Who is this video for? And part of the reason that we really focus in on this is because it is so easy to lose track of it once you get into the video production. It is so easy to lose track of it. And I mean, I understand why it happens, because a lot of times it's ego. Now, it might not be your ego. It might not be your ego. It might be a boss's ego. Let's blame it on the boss. It might be the boss's ego, but somebody gets involved in the video production process, whether it's through the approval process, whatever it might be, but the ego gets in the way, and they start thinking, well, I want the video to include this. I want to see this in the video. I want to see that in the video. I need to get this into our video. But here's the problem. It's not your video. It's your audience's video. And that's something that we really need to reiterate. It's not your video. It's your audience's video. What information do they need? Anything that goes into the video, whether it's information, whether it's the shooting style, whether it's the music, anything that goes into the video should be hyper-focused on your audience. What's going to appeal to them? I don't care what appeals to you personally. I don't care what appeals to your boss personally. It's all about the audience. This is their video, and we need to focus on it. And the great thing is that when you really get this, it makes the decision-making process so much easier with your video production, because anytime there's a question about anything, should we include this piece of information? How should we shoot the video, the music, all these things that I just mentioned to you? If you're not sure about any of those things, you just put yourself in your audience's shoes and think to yourself, what would they want? What would they want from this? And that's your answer. So it's super helpful. It's super important. Who is your audience? Next up, do not script your videos. Ah! I just lost some of you. You're all like, what? Don't script your videos. Don't script your videos. This might be one of the hardest things for people to do, because you want to have that control over the message. You want to have that control over what's being said in the video, the message that's going out. Now, I understand some of you might work at a company where it's required. Maybe there's some sort of compliance issue. There could be all sorts of different reasons. You just have like some hyperactive legal department or something. So there's some of you that this might be a non-starter for, and if you have to do it, then script your videos. But for everybody else, if you have a little bit of control over the production and how it can look and sound, I'm telling you, do not script your videos. Interview the people who you are going to have be in this video, ask them questions, and use their genuine responses to drive the direction of the video. And the reason why we do this is something that we do with, 99% of the videos that we produce. We talk about letting the sound bites tell the story. We transcribe all the interviews that we do, and then we take out sound bites and we start arranging them to tell the story. That's how you want to go about doing it. And the reason you want to go about doing it that way is because it provides a far more authentic, genuine message. Audiences today, they know when they're being sold a bill of goods. You know it in your own personal life. You can watch your own any videos and tell whether something's been scripted for you or whether it's genuinely coming from the heart. And if you script your videos, they're going to sound like scripted videos. Again, put yourself in the shoes of the people who are watching this video, your recruits. Put yourself in their shoes. Do they want to be sold on this company, or do they just want to hear genuinely what it's like to work at your company? I think they probably want a genuine, authentic message. And this is the best way to go about doing it, not scripting your videos. So that might be really hard for some of you, but I'm telling you, the way I always put, when I'm faced with a customer who's a little bit itchy about that, what I always tell them is, what you give up in control, you get back in authenticity. And I will take an authentic sounding video over a scripted video any day of the week. And I think that your recruits will as well, your candidates. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the content that is going to be in the video. Let's talk a little bit about the content. When you are writing something for your company, one of the things that we all tend to do is stuff it full of information. We want to get as much information into it as possible. We're writing away. We're getting as many words as we can in there. Video isn't that way. Video isn't that way at all. As a matter of fact, if I have a mantra, if I were writing my own video, my corporate video manifesto, probably the first thing I would put in there is that video is not about facts and figures. Video is about emotion. And what we need to do with our videos is elicit some sort of emotion from people. We want to give them information. I get that. And we want them to get that information. But what we really want them to walk away with is a feeling. We want them to have some sort of feeling about this company. Now, when I talk about emotions, people generally jump to one of two things. They think of laughter or they think of crying. Those are the two emotions that people immediately jump to when they think of this. But what I'm here to tell you is you don't need to use either of those emotions, or you don't need to target either of those kind of emotional reactions from people. The vast majority of videos that we produce, whether they be for internal communications, external communications, whatever they are, most of the time what we're going after is we simply want people to feel good about the company that we're doing the video on. We want them to feel confident in the company that we're producing that video on. Feel good, feel confident. These are emotions that you can target. You can target these things too, because I'm telling you, if you can produce a video that makes people laugh or makes people cry in a good way, A+, you get 2 thumbs up from me. But I'm here to tell you, that's hard. It is hard to be funny. It is hard to build up enough emotion to elicit a tear from your audience. It is hard. It's not that it can't be done. It can. But man, funny is hard. Sad or heartwarming, I think maybe is a better way to look at it. It's hard. So you don't have to go over those emotions because, if you get the recruit, if you get the candidate feeling good about your company, feeling confident in your company, man, huge step forward for you. The question that you might have is, how are we going to do that? How are we going to tap into emotions? Storytelling. In video, we're not going after people's brains, we're going after their hearts. And storytelling is the shortcut to the human heart. People all over the world, in all walks of life, understand the power of storytelling. Seth Godin is one of our nation's brightest marketing minds. He is a marketing guru. And what Seth Godin says is that people are moved by stories, and logic is a battering ram. It's hard to go after someone's heart with a battering ram. Now, Seth Godin's a marketer. It's probably not a surprise that he would be into storytelling and that sort of thing. But here's the thing. What about somebody who relies on facts and figures, who relies on statistics for what they do for a living? Somebody like a scientist. Dr. Jane Goodall, one of our world's greatest scientists, understands the power of storytelling. She says we can never win an argument by appealing to the people's heads. It's got to be in the heart. And I use the power of storytelling. So you see, people all over the world from all walks of life get it. The power of storytelling is a wonderful thing. But we don't even have to stop there. We can look beyond this world. We can look beyond this world. Tyrion Lannister, maybe one of the wisest men in all of Westeros. All of my Game of Thrones geeks right now are all smiling or chuckling and really enjoying this part of the presentation. The rest of you are like, who the heck is Tyrion Lannister? Game of Thrones. He's a character in the HBO show Game of Thrones. But this is good. He has some real words of wisdom here that we can all learn from when it comes to storytelling. When the very last episode of Game of Thrones, they're trying to decide who should sit on the Iron Throne, and they asked him, and he said, well, what unites people? Armies, gold, flags, stories. There's nothing in the world more powerful than a good story. Nothing can stop it. No enemy can defeat it. This is a man who knows things. Of course, he's also famous for having said, that's what I do. I drink and I know things. So maybe we'll take him with a grain of salt. But I love it. All right, this is all great. You're like, Tony, I'm in. Emotion, storytelling, it sounds great. This is what I want for my recruiting videos, but I'm in HR. And I don't necessarily know where to find these stories. I don't know go about telling these stories. This is beyond me. Well, I'm going to help you out with a few things. Here are some great places to find good stories. I mentioned it early. Your employees, they might be your greatest asset. Start learning about your employees. Learn about why they love their jobs. Learn about why they get up every morning. What's their motivation for coming into work? I mean, these are questions that you can be asking your employees. You will be blown away at some of the responses that you get. Some of them, you might not be blown away, but all you need are a few. All you need are a few people. And start thinking about, and when you start getting these answers, when you start talking to employees and asking them questions like these, think about your audience again. Put yourself in your candidate's shoes and what's going to appeal to them. Here's another great thing to do. Follow current events. There might be something going on in the world right now that your company has a special attachment to or feels strongly about in some way. That can be a video. Tell that story. Why is this issue so important to you and your company? And finally, the old standby, Google it. Better yet, go to YouTube. You might not realize this, but the world's second largest search engine is YouTube. Go into YouTube and type in, whatever kind of company. If you're a manufacturing company, Recruiting videos, manufacturing companies. See what other companies are doing. I'm not telling you to just steal their ideas and whatever they're doing, but hopefully those videos might inspire you in some way, might give you ideas of stories within your own company that you can tell. So when in doubt, Google it, put it into YouTube, check the search engine. For those of you that don't know, YouTube is owned by Google. So they're closely linked. So you can do either one and you'll be totally fine.